Page 2, we want to figure out, determine the quadratic function, but we're actually only going to, we'll just leave it in vertex form. We don't have to put it in quadratic form. So here we're given a vertex, we're also given a point. We need to then put it into our vertex form, figure out our a value because we don't know what it is, and that's really important. That is going to tell us what's happening. Is our function opening up or is it down? And then what's the slope of it? So this is our vertex form. Our vertex is 4, 1. So that's going to be my h and my k value. And then the other point that they give me is going to be my x and my f of x. So we need to plug these right back into this equation. Either you can do it separately, or I'm going to rewrite it and I'm just going to write it all with my colors at the same time, because I know I need to isolate a and figure out what's happening there. So my f of x is a -2. So this is going to become -2. And that equals a, and we don't know what that is yet. Okay, my x value is a 6. My h is a +4, but we are going to make that opposite. And my k value is a 1, so a +1. So now I need to combine my terms and use my order of operations to solve for a. So I'm going to subtract 1 and subtract 1 there. So I'm left with -3 equals a. 6 minus 4 is going to be 2. 2 squared is 4. And that one away. So a is going to equal -3/4. So this is telling me my parabola is going to be down, and it's going to have a slope of down 3/4. So it's going to get nice and wide. But we now need to take this a value and plug it right back into this with my vertex 2. So I'm going to have my final answer will be in vertex form, f of x equals -3/4 x minus 4 quantity squared plus 1. Awesome. Feeling good about that. You should too. Now we want to actually look to see if we have a maximum or minimum. How do we figure that out? You look directly at that leading coefficient. It is a negative number, so we're going to have some parabola opening down with a point right here, which is going to be a maximum value. So we want to find at this max value, what is my x, what is my y? My y is actually going to be the value. X is just telling me location. Y is the value. All right? So let's take a look and see what's going on here. I'm going to use my axis of symmetry, okay, because I know that my vertex lies on the axis of symmetry. I know that my vertex is directly on here, so I think that that works really well to connect where to find that. So x is the opposite of b over 2a. The opposite is going to be a +40 divided by 2 times my a value is a -5. So I have 40 divided by -10, so I'm going to have a -4. I'm going to take this and plug it right into my function. So I have f of -4 will be -5 times -4 squared minus 40 times -4 minus 80. So -4 squared is 16. 16 times negative 5, so I'm going to be left with negative 80 plus 160 minus 80. So that's actually going to leave me with 0. So my maximum value is going to be 0 at negative 4. But really, again, what I want to know is what the value is. What is my y value? There you go. Now we're going down to our application problem. So a rocket is launched from the ground with an initial velocity of 136 feet per second. The height of the rocket, t seconds after firing, is given by this certain formula. So first we want to know how high is the rocket after 4 seconds. So I'm going to take my time and plug it in. If I plug my time into the t's, I will figure out my height according to that time. Okay, so I have h of 4, and that's going to equal negative 16 times 4 squared plus 136 times 4. So once I plug that in, negative 16, yes, I'm doing this on my calculator. This is going to be a negative 256 plus 136 times 4 is 544. So that is going to leave me with 288. So the rocket will be at 288 feet at 4 seconds. Okay, now we want to know at what time does it reach its maximum height. Now maximum, if you notice, the a value is a negative 16, so we know again it opens down, it has a max height. So what time does it reach its max height, and then what is the height? Height is going to be your y value. The time is going to be your x value, if you want to think of it like that. If you need to think of it as x and y. Okay? So we need to either complete the square or use our axis of symmetry. I really think axis of symmetry works very nicely in this case because, again, our vertex lies on it. So x equals the opposite of b over 2a. So we have opposite of b is going to be a negative 136 over 2 times negative 16. So again, I'm going to do this on my calculator, which, yes, I know you cannot see. That's okay. Divided by 2 times negative 16. So I'm going to be left with 17 fourths. I'm then going to take this and plug it back in. Okay, what's the maximum height reached? I have f of, actually technically it's h, right? H and t. So I'm going to say h of, so this should actually be a t, okay? H of 17 over 4 equals negative 16 times 17 over 4 squared plus 136 times 17 over 4. All right, 17 over 4 squared times 16 is going to leave me with negative 200, I'm sorry, times negative 16 is negative 289. And then 136 times the 17 over 4 going to add 578, which will leave me with a positive 289 feet. So that is how I will maximize. All right, so hopefully you guys are prepared for the quiz, and your test will be on Tuesday, so I will have another video up as well. What is